Welcome everyone in this new video tutorial about Diablo-like dungeon generator. In this video we are going to finish up our cleaning up in order to be able to add the last features to our dungeon. So in the next videos we are going to implement stuff like spawning enemies, rewards and stuff like that. It's going to be quite, we are not going to expand much on the other features. We're just going to make them quickly. But in this video, we're going to focus on cleaning up the mess we did in the So I reunited that function, generate layout, in one big function, whereas we had several different functions taking care of everything previously. So I want to get that all of the generic tile system and stepping back and force tile and stuff like that. I want to collapse that to a function, and that function is going to be called draw main path, like that. And we are going to move that in our layout drawers folder in there, draw main path. And we're going to bring the rest of the stuff back up. And what do we want to do now? I want to remove the useless comments like calculating tile layout and stuff like that, and I want to have useful comments. I have a branch in here without conditions. I want useful comments, or at least I want to pack things up a bit better. So this is going to be about making everything clean before we run a new layout. So when we draw the main path, then we draw the start tile, the main path, then we draw the additional tiles and extra connection, we draw the replacement tiles, then we calculate the cells to start. Are we calling this anywhere else? It appears that we actually do. So it's calling itself. So that function is calling itself. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to make it so that function returns a parameter. The parameter it returns is going to be our steps to recheck. We're going to remove that number. Remove the name. Function doesn't like it when a local variable has the same name than one of the parameter. So we're going to call that remaining tiles to check. We're going to hit Control S. We tried to calculate steps to start too many times, so we're also going to return a boolean, which is going to tell us if it succeeded. We're going to tell that it failed in here, but we're still going to return the steps to recheck, or else it's going to give us an error when we compile. So if we don't have any steps to recheck, we return success. We return success in that case as well, like that. So that function is not calling itself anymore. What is this? Is this a local variable? So this is not even a local variable. Are we using this elsewhere? Calculate cells to start. And this function is called in our main calculate cells to start. So I think that function needs to return something, and we need to make that. Okay, so I know what we're going to do. So we are going in our calculate cell to start variable, and we're going to return. We're going to promote that to a local variable. So let's promote that to a local variable. We are going to call that tiles to recheck. Temp tiles to recheck. We're going to replace steps to recheck by temp tiles to recheck. Temp cells, we're going to use our newly chosen naming convention. So temp cells to recheck, we're going to add that. We make sure that the variable is clear by default. We're going to hit compile. And it says there is a bug. We're going to refresh all nodes. And it says there is a bug in our draw main path function we just created. So we're going to promote that to a local variable. And we're going to control F5 refresh all nodes. But going back to our calculate cell to start function, we want that function to return a parameter which is going to be our temp cells to recheck, like that. We're going to call that cells to recheck. And once we're done looping through our array of tiles around, we're going to return the temp cells to recheck, like that. We're going to hit compile. We're going to find the references where we are actually using that function. Calculate cell to start, like that. And in here we have our variable steps to recheck. That is actually a generic variable for now, and we want to make that a local variable. And we're going to call that, we're going to promote that to a local variable. This is going to be cells to recheck. We're going to plug that, and we're going to replace the references of one of the steps to recheck by cells to recheck. And I think we do not need to clear that anymore, since it's a local variable. It's going to be clear by default every time we run the function. So steps to recheck, cells to recheck. Are we still using that variable? So it's in our references folder. Steps to recheck, find references. We're still calling it there. We want to replace cell, and we want to hit compile. So it's telling us there is a bug. We want to hit refresh all nodes, and there are no bugs anymore. But we need to add that to our cells to recheck variable. Not variable, array. So we are looping through all calculate cells to start. So this is a list of all our tiles. This is a list of tiles we are looping through. For each of these tiles, so we need to loop through these cells. For each of these of the cell we need to recheck, we're going to add them to the list of cells to recheck, like that. We're going to compile, save. We're going to go back to our calculate cell to start function, and we're going to say, and we are going to say are there remaining. So it's idiot not doing this. That might not be. Okay, we are going to see. So let's say we actually succeeded. Did we actually succeeded? If we succeeded, we are going to draw the entire, etc. We're going to move that away. If there are remaining cells to calculate, we are going to, what are we going to do? We're going to promote that to a local variable, So that's actually where it gets silly. I think that function is just going to call itself, because that's silly to build up a logic in here that asks, is it finished, etc. Or does it need to be reperformed? But it's we're going to do that anyway. It sounds more logical. It makes more sense to do it that way. So cells from start to recheck. So if we succeeded, but we still have cells from start to recheck, we're going to say that if we do not have, we're going to draw the rest of the layout. But if we don't, we're going to say so first we're going to promote that and use this, but we are going to use the getter because we are actually going to loop again. In here we are incrementing the number of retries we are taking, and this local variable this is actually not working anymore. So we're going to grab that, we're going to control X that, and we are just going to grab that here. We're going to remove the boolean because we're not even using it. We're going to compile. Success doesn't exist anymore. We're going to control click that, it's going to disappear. We're going to control V. We're going to promote that to a local variable. This is going to be cell from start retry, current cell from start, current cell to start. So is this used anywhere? So this was the variable we created for it. So we're actually going to use that current cell to start like that. We're going to remove this integer. So we are actually going to say that if we have steps to recalculate, we're going to increment that number, then we're going to check our maximum amount of retries. If we did not reach it, we're going to rerun that function. Like that, so that's a bit silly. So that it is actually a bit silly. I actually just removed that from that function. And I'm not even sure it still works if I'm hitting play. But of course it works. I mean, not of course, but hopefully. So, but at least we can, in here, I think we can remove some of the local variable we were using in our calculate cells to start function. Temp array still used, current style is still used, temp steps to start is still used, but we're never getting that variable, so I'm not sure why we are storing that. We are going to delete that and delete temp steps to start. We're going to compile, we're going to play, and I'm just going to try to see if the numbers are correct. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blah blah blah. If I'm making that bigger, okay, they seem to still be correct. So it was a useless function. So we're going to comment that and call that steps to start calculations. And then we are going to comment that main path. We are going to call that second path, like that. So what else now? Reroll dungeon. I want to delete that function, that variable. Where it is it used? Draw end tile. So our draw end tile is going to return a boolean success. And where is that function called? Only in one place, so we're fine with that. We're going to return fail, and we're going to add something to our report log, like that. And we are, I don't know where to I don't know where to add that return node. We're going to add fail in here. So I think that's here. We want to return success. In here we want to return fail. We want to compile, hit save. So we're going to check how it behaves. Can we get out of the loop? Did I forgot any place to return? To return something. I don't think so. So it succeeded. And where are we using that variable? Reset layout. So we don't need that anymore. And where are we using that? Reroll dungeon. We don't want that. We actually want to say, did we succeed? Did we succeeded? If so, we're going to continue. If not, we're going to reroll the layout. Like that. If we fail in here, what do we want to do? We want to reroll the layout. Draw last path. Broadcast like this. We're going to hit compile, hit save. And what's going on when we reset the layout? When we reroll the layout? When rerolling the layout, we are actually incrementing that number. If we did not reach the maximum amount, we are going to generate the layout. If we did reach our maximum amount, what are we going to do? I want to see where do we actually display the error log in here. We're going to control X that and go to our display error log. And at the beginning of our error log, we're going to run add extra tiles to error log. Then we're going to go to our generate layout function. We're going to control copy display error log, and we're going to control to paste it there. Display error log. When we reroll the layout, if we reached our maximum amount, we're going to display our error log. And we're going to hit play, and nothing is working. So what did I do when we generate our layout, when we draw our end tile? So it was working previously. So we are actually going to debug to add error to log. That error is going to be maximum amount of layouts reroll reached. We're going to hit compile, hit play. So I suppose we're just not returning. We are not returning true in here properly. So in that case, if that is true, we need to return success. If I'm hitting play like that, we're going to hit compile, close every tabs but our event graph. We're going to find the references to our reroll dungeon variable. It does not exist anymore. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to hit compile. Steps to recheck is not used anymore. We're going to delete that. Progression is used. Replace type class as well. Wanted for style as well. Everything is used if I'm not mistaken. We're going to make sure. Alright, so we're going to hit compile, hit save, and it's going to wrap up that video. But so there are still many things to clean up, but we're not going to take care of that for now. We have a better work environment now. So it's not perfect, but it's better. So hope you guys enjoyed the little cleaning up videos, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.